here we are in our new studio in our holiday village down south with a beautiful sea view. As you can see, it's excellent. And as we promised in a previous episode, we are going to do a little ribeye experiment today. We cut up a whole 7 kilo, 16 pound Black Angus rib roast from Creekstone Farms in Arkansas. And then we took, as we always do, we vacuum them individually like this. But we took one and we vacuumed it plain, as we always do. And then we took another one and we salted it. And then we vacuumed it, left both of them in the fridge for 24 hours, and then we froze them. I want to check if, as we normally do, we take a plain one and then we salt it at the table, or it gets better when it has been salted and then frozen. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to see. And let's see. So we have our sous vide here running on 54 degrees. So we are shooting for a nice medium rare. So into the jacuzzi they go. And this is a very nice box because it has these flaps here that keeps the meat down under submerged. So it's a really nice one. And now we let it go here for probably at least 1.5 hours. But while that happens, we're going to fire up our new Kamado Joe Kettle Joe. Not sponsored. We bought it with our own money. And in the next episodes to come, we're going to take it through the hoops, low and slow, all the things, smoke, whatever. But today we're going to make it hot and fast to grill our beautiful ribeyes. So now we're going to set it up for what we're going to do today. Right now it has the slow roller inside, which is what we're going to use when we're going to make, I don't know, smoke some pulled pork, whatever, but we're going to go through the hoops with that later. So take out the grill grates here, leave them on the side. And then, as you can see, there is this plate here, and then this sort of shape. So when you're smoking low and slow, you get this turbulence of smoke. So that's what we're going to play with later. But for now, we leave this in and we take it out. And then we have to lower the lid. There is a screw here in the back and a little pin. You pull and then you lower it down and close it up. Sorry for the noise. Close it up. And only until you close the lid, you tighten again the screw, because otherwise you will have leakage from the lid. It won't be tight. So here we are, and now we want to set it up for today. As you can see, nice inside. I wanted a Kamado style grill, but I wasn't in the mood to pay 4,000 euros for a Kamado Joe Big Joe. And now we want to make this dirty with the first load of briquettes.
I feel sorry, but it looks so nice and shiny and clean.
Yeah. And we're going to use some Pro Q briquettes, which is made from coconut shells. Okay. Let me see if I can get some of them in there without making too much of a mess. I don't know how many we're going to need today. But first we put in a layer in the bottom. And then we take, let's say, 3 tumbleweeds.
Fire starters.
Fire starter, yeah. And we load up some more briquettes here. And now we're ready to fire this up, so on with the gas, and let's see if we can get some fire on these fire starters here. I think that will do it. And actually I don't need my gloves, I think, because this is not warm yet. So we put in the grill grates, but I want to have one side lower, so I put them in here on the lower side, like this. And the other one I put up here, so that we have, let's say, a little bit more indirect zone here, or colder zone, and a really hot for searing the steaks down here. So now all we have to do is close the lid and let this come up to temperature while we prep our vegetables. And our veggie prep is going to be real simple. We have some bell peppers here that we're going to cut the sides down like this. I find that's the easiest way when you want to grill them. So we get the seeds out just like that, and the bottom away with that. And then into a bowl, and we continue with the next one. And for our pleurotus, or oyster mushrooms, if you so will, it's real simple. We just take a bowl, and they're nice and clean, so they go straight in. And then we're going to spread them out a bit, and then we're going to give them a nice drizzle of olive oil. Like this, same on the peppers. Don't be stingy, olive oil is good for you.
Healthy.
And we're in Greece anyway, and they eat a shit ton of olive oil. So like
As
this.
we do.
And then it's salt. Freshly cracked black pepper. And in with the hand and give it a good mix around, and then they're ready for the grill. Our grill is nice and hot and up to temperature, so first now we want to get some of our veggies on because they will take a good 10-12 minutes to cook. So I open that and we put on some of our peppers on the high grill grade as we talked about before. Looking good. And it's nice and warm in here. Some peppers. And we're gonna go on with some of our beautiful oyster mushrooms. I love oyster mushroom. It's really one of my favorite. But they need to cook quite a long time, so you don't want to put these on while you do your steak. You want to put them on early, so they really get some grilling on them. Then they're excellent eating. So on with those. There we go. And while they start cooking, we are going to take a look at our steaks. They have been in here now enjoying themselves quite some time. They don't look pretty when they come out of the sous vide, but we're going to change that. This one here, just to remember, this is our salted one, so I'll put that on this side. So get it out on the board, but as you can see, it's not very pretty. But that will certainly change in a bit. But that's the salted one. Then we take out the other one. They're actually kind of different in color if you look at them. When you do sous vide, the important thing is when you take it out, you leave it for a little bit to rest so the surface temperature goes down a little bit, because if you could take them straight on the grill, then you will get sort of a gray zone on your steak and you don't want that. But I just want to pat them dry just a little bit, and then we're going to tent them with a little bit of aluminium foil while we allow our vegetables to cook. Put your knife on top so it doesn't blow away. We are outside, and then we let them rest a little bit, and then they go on the grill when the veggies are almost ready. So let's take a look at our veggies here, and I think they're doing well. Look, that's what you want, a little bit of blackening. That's what you want, not too much. We're not trying to take off the skin here, but we want them to be nice and grilled. That looks beautiful, look at that. That's actually a thing I can already say here I love about the Kettle Joe, is that even though the coals are in the middle, ooh, that's warm, then the ones on the side here, they get also perfectly grilled simply because of the airflow inside the kettle. It's fantastic. I am already pleased with my purchase. So there. Then I think it's time, because now they only need a few minutes on that side. So, but look at the difference now in color, if you can see that. Look,
Yes.
unsalted, salted. That's a little bit funny. So on the back side here, I will put the salty boy like this, and I'll put the unsalted up front here. And now we let them get some nice sear marks. Look, it's already coming some flare-ups here. This is gonna be, flare-ups are okay as long as you don't let them go too far. That's looking good and smells good already. And look at that. That goes real fast. So on with that, we take the other one. Oh yeah, hell yeah, that just looks good.
Wow.
Now we just keep flipping fast because we don't want them to burn with the flare-ups, but you can't avoid those. So we keep flipping until we have the crust we want. We got a nice sear on our steaks. So salty boy goes on the same side. And this goes on the other. And then let me leave these here. That's just beautiful. Let me tent these over again. It was this way around. And now we're going to leave that just a couple of minutes, and then we're ready to cut in and have a taste. Our steaks has rested for a couple of minutes and I've been here in the smell, so I'm getting real hungry because it smells divine. So let's get them uncovered here. They look really good. We try the salty boy first, I say. Let's see how we did.
Woohoo.
I don't know, it's probably difficult for you to see from the camera point of view, but this is perfect medium rare, no gray zone. It's exactly what you want. So let me get a nice piece here and then see how this tastes. That is fantastic steak, and it's salted and seasoned all the way through. Really tasty, super juicy. That's definitely success on that one. So now let's try the other one that we did our traditional method. Again, perfect medium rare. Nothing to argue about there, it's perfect. Take a piece, but this is unsalted. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of salt as we usually do on the table. This is the 2 schools of steak. So let me see how this is. Strangely enough, the unsalted one comes through a little bit more beefy flavor than the salted one. It changed a little bit the flavor profile. I have to say that I'm actually prone to the cook it neutral and then salt it at the table. That's my favorite. So give it a shot, try for yourself and see if you agree. Comments down below.